Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for your patience. We are excited to have you joining us today to learn about the SDG Connect Challenge, DAC to the Future. So before we jump in, it is with gratitude and respect that I acknowledge today I'm joining from Toronto, which is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat people, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. I also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. So today we're going to chat a little bit. We're going to start with some intro like we're doing right now. We're going to get to know the challenge partners. Then we're going to dig into the challenge and talk about the application process and evaluation, the key dates and eligibility. And then we're hoping to have a lot of time for Q&A. So please feel free to use the Q&A function of the webinar at any point during the presentations. And we will dig into all your questions at the end. And if we don't get a chance to get to your question, that's no problem. We will follow up via email. So today I am very thrilled to be joined by several incredible speakers. We have Caroline Bulldog, who's a Trade Commissioner with the Trade Commissioner Service. We have Deline Van Dyke, who's a Senior Process Engineer in the Environmental and Separations Technology Group of the Research and Technology Department of Sasol, South Africa. And we have Jenny Huang, who is currently the Environmental Technology Manager at Sasol, South Africa. She leads a multifaceted research agenda in sustainable feedstock to transform a coal-based business fit for a fossil-free future. And I'm Heather Crochetier, and I'm the Director of Innovation Challenges with Foresight Canada. For those of you who might not be familiar with Foresight, Foresight is Canada's clean tech accelerator. We bring partners together to identify, commercialize, and adopt the clean technologies needed to address today's most urgent climate challenges. We support the identification and validation of clean tech opportunities and the successful commercialization of solutions. We bring together industry, government, academia, investors, and innovators to address today's most urgent climate issues and support a global transition to a green economy. There's a lot that we do, but we can divide our activities into around 5 basic areas. We have our accelerator programs where we support companies in different stages and sectors to accelerate their technologies, scale or commercialize their technology solutions. We support companies in capital attraction. We support them in export development. And we create ecosystems in which clean tech can thrive, connecting the stakeholders in the sector using our Helix 5 model. These stakeholders in our Helix 5 model are innovators, industry, investors, government, and academia. And of course, as you all know, we also run innovation challenges for industry partners that want to improve their processes or reduce their environmental impact. So this challenge that we're talking about today fits under our SDG Connect Challenge program. Through this program, we connect international businesses who are looking to reach their sustainable development goals to Canadian companies with clean tech solutions through open innovation challenges. And all this is done in an efficient, affordable, and low carbon way. It's all done totally virtually. So now I would like to hand it over to Deline from Sasol to dig into more about this DAC to the Future challenge.
Works better with unmute. Thank you, Heather, for the introduction. It is my pleasure to be able to speak to you tonight, or on your case this morning, on the DAC to the Future challenge as presented by Sasol. Heather, next slide, please. I want to start off with why we are doing it. The future does not begin tomorrow, it starts now. And the choices we make today and the decisions we take now will directly impact and direct our future. There has never been a more important time to do the right thing than right now. Thanks, Heather. So before I give you more information on the challenge, I would like to give you some background on Sasol. And Sasol is a global chemicals and energy company producing a wide variety of products and selling them in more than 118 countries. Our purpose is innovating for a better world with a focus on people, planet, and profit, while being a force for good. We harness our knowledge and expertise to integrate sophisticated technologies and processes into world-scale operating facilities. We continuously work on reducing our greenhouse gas emissions with the ambition to be net zero by 2050. Thanks. We are world leaders in the development and application of Fischer-Tropsch, also known as FT, technology, with more than 70 years of experience in the production and marketing of fuels and other products. Through our proprietary technologies and processes, Sasol produces fuel and chemical components, as well as co-products for a number of applications. Sasol is a global supplier to a wide variety of industries. We are a significant producer of grey hydrogen, which places us in an excellent position to use this knowledge to lead the development of the green hydrogen economy in South Africa. We are currently exploring the potential of clean and sustainable aviation fuel, also known as SAF, with world-class partners by leveraging our proprietary Fischer-Tropsch technology. Thanks, Heather. So Sasol comprises of 3 distinct market-related businesses, namely chemicals, energy, and Sasol ecoFT. Firstly, Sasol Chemicals focus its activities on specialty chemicals, where it has differentiated capabilities and strong market positions. On the other hand, Sasol Energy is positioned to be responsive to global trends by providing new energy and mobility solutions, as well as pursuing greenhouse gas emission reductions by developing and growing gas and renewables in South Africa. The third business unit, Sasol ecoFT, leverages our proprietary technology, know-how, and expertise to produce sustainable aviation fuels and chemicals from green hydrogen and sustainable carbon sources via the power-to-liquid process. Thanks, Heather. So it should be clear from this that we at Sasol really strive to advance chemical and energy solutions that contribute to a thriving planet, society, and enterprise. Sasol is committed to accelerating our transition to a low-carbon world via a combination of technologies, including, but not limited to, increasing energy efficiency, point source capture of carbon dioxide, implementation of sustainable energy sources, as well as direct air capture of carbon dioxide, also known as DAC. Our FT technology is carbon-based agnostic, and this makes it possible for us to transition from fossil fuels to a carbon source that is more sustainable, such as carbon dioxide captured from DAC or even from industrial point sources. Similarly, our process also allows us to transition from grey to using green hydrogen. So we at Sasol really recognize that every molecule counts, and therefore we have a phased approach that we will use to transition to a more sustainable feedstock. And this we do in order to ensure that the maximum benefit to the environment is achieved really within the shortest possible time frame. Currently, point source capture of carbon dioxide is more economical than DAC, and that is simply because of the more favorable thermodynamics. However, we all acknowledge that point source capture alone cannot really counteract past emissions, and therefore in the future we will need to make use of DAC processes as well. Just imagine what we will be able to achieve if we can have the same technology applied for both point source capture and direct air capture of carbon dioxide. The advantage of this is that this can lead to faster integration of carbon dioxide capturing processes into existing facilities, and this phased approach will also facilitate a faster learning curve, which could potentially result in significant cost savings. Thanks, Heather. So in order for Sasol to achieve our commitment of accelerating our transition to a low-carbon world, we require innovative solutions for cost-effective implementation of DAC and integration of the captured carbon dioxide into our feedstock value chain at our Secunda facilities. This will enable us to produce green chemicals and green fuels such as petroleum and diesel, as well as sustainable aviation fuel. Potentially, we need to capture several million tons of carbon dioxide in this way at our Secunda facilities. The integration of emerging technologies, and that's not only true for DAC, but for all emerging technologies, into a complex industrial operation facility is a crucial step in the road to achieve large-scale industrial implementation of such a technology. Currently, Sasol has no proprietary DAC or point source carbon dioxide capturing technologies, And we are therefore interested in forming strategic partnerships with companies offering licensing of such processes. Our vast experience in the fields of process engineering, integration of processes into complex facilities, and handling a multitude of chemicals and operations can offer insight into the challenges of integrating a DAC process into a petrochemical complex. This will enable optimization of all aspects of such an integrated complex. Sasol has a proven track record in developing, commercializing, and integration of new technologies into existing facilities. Our research and technology facility in Sasolburg is earmarked to serve as a center of excellence for technology demonstration. Our existing facilities offers an excellent breeding ground for studying integration aspects of emerging DAC technologies. Thanks, Heather. So Sasol is really interested to hear about TRL6 or further developed DAC technologies that can potentially be integrated into either FT or a PTX facility. The proposals must please include a view on the required footprint to know how easy it is to integrate into a brownfields complex, as well as a plan for a dedicated sustainable electricity supply. And the reason for that being that South Africa as a country currently do not have a vast supply of existing sustainable electricity. We are also interested in hearing your view on the current cost, as well as your estimated cost reduction predictions for the future, and the research focus points that you see to identify integration risks. It will be beneficial if the same technology can be used for both point source and direct capture of carbon dioxide, although it will obviously not necessarily be in the same piece of equipment. And a view on this will really be appreciated in your proposal. Please also share a process description in your application, and it will be advantageous if you include a list of the relevant patents and articles published related to this technology. Heather, if we perhaps can go to the last slide. So I really want to conclude with this. We are not traveling this journey alone. And by utilizing our individual strengths for a common goal, we can achieve better results than going at it alone. We are really looking forward to receiving your proposals that will enable us to build a better tomorrow.
Thanks so much, Celine. Okay, so now that we know about a little bit more about the specifics of the challenge, let's talk about key dates. So we are currently accepting submissions. Obviously, you're here today at the information webinar, and we will be accepting submissions until February 28th. And this is at 11:59 Pacific time. After that, we will evaluate the proposals in early March. We'll invite finalists to pitch in late March, and the winners will be announced towards the end of March. Deline did go over some of the eligibility, but just as a reminder, we're looking for those solutions that are able to efficiently capture carbon dioxide from the air and from a point source. As Deline said, they're really looking for TRL level 6. Late level TRL 5 readiness will only be considered if achieving TRL 6 is imminent. The company must be Canadian, or the solution provider must be a Canadian-owned company or have primary operations in Canada. We're looking for those solutions that integrate into Sasol's Secunda complex, and it must be cost competitive. Some additional tips for submitting your application. Do double check that you're fulfilling all of the eligibility requirements to make sure that you are eligible for the challenge. Really recommend getting your submission in early. Don't wait until right before the submission deadline. We are unable to accept applications after the deadline. So if there's a technical glitch or something, it's better to get it in much earlier than the imminent deadline. Make sure to provide data evidence where applicable, and make sure to use clear language in the technical descriptions of the technology. Explain the work and progress that's been done to date. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us at challenges@foresightcac.com. And now I'd like to invite Caroline from the Trade Commissioner Service to tell us a little bit more about the services that they offer.
Good morning, everyone. Apologies for the technical problems. I'm a trade commissioner. I'm currently based in Joburg, Southern Africa. We cover 5 countries from here. And basically, we're embedded in embassies and high commissions around the world to serve Canadian organizations like you. We also work with universities, associations, and partners like Foresight. And our role is really to be the eyes and ears of Canada abroad, not only in Africa, but we're probably based everywhere you would like to do business or find opportunities or research collaboration. So it's a wide network. It's a free service. So I encourage you to, if you're a small, medium enterprise or any Canadian organization, to contact us, because we are on the ground. We have a vast local network. We speak the language, we understand the culture, and we can coach you on how to develop business in our markets. We're also here if you have problems, and we can do some troubleshooting for you. We're also the ones negotiating free trade agreements. So I hope you can take advantage of these as well. We have a little bit of funding called Can Export, basically for small and medium enterprises who would like to explore new markets, but also to develop innovation partnerships with international counterparts. We also have Canadian technology accelerators, so you can be embedded in our markets for a few weeks and have a coach and virtual training to support your efforts in developing additional markets. Please move through the slides, because I'm not sure I have access. Thank you. So basically, those are the services I just talked about. Very old network, 125 years. We have many clients. Some of you know us already, but we're always looking to support younger companies or other companies who haven't heard of our services. We also have offices in Canada in a few provinces, so I encourage you to connect with them as well. Yeah, basically our 4 services are to give you market overviews, connect you with the right people in our markets, try to uncover opportunities for you, and solve some business problems you may have through, as I said, a network of local contacts. So view us as an extension of your business development team abroad. And I'm currently arrived here in August, so I'm still new, but I've done this in Europe and in Ottawa before. And what I can see now is that there are a lot of opportunities in South Africa. They're really hungry for additional technology that perhaps can enhance the ones they already have, or something that they don't have actually. So what Sasol is proposing today, I think, is a great opportunity. I hope you get into the challenge. We work with a team of sectoral experts. Darshni Pillai, who you may have worked with already, is our clean tech expert. She has even a degree in environmental sciences, so she gets it, she understands it. So I hope you get in touch with us if you need specific market intelligence, and we hope to hear from you. Thank you.
Thanks, Caroline. Okay, so with that, I'm going to stop sharing and we are going to get into the Q&A. So as I mentioned, please do feel free to use the Q&A function and have the questions flow in. So we have a couple that are asking about that TRL level. So if they're below TRL level 6, are they still invited to apply? And if there are no applicants that are at or above TRL 6, would you consider selecting someone at a lower TRL level?
So maybe I'll take that question. Thank you very much, Heather. Yes, to the anonymous, if the proposal is just below TRL 6, if you have a plan to get to TRL 6 and above, please do share. And I think this is something that we have internally discussed that we are not at a level where we want to start from complete scratch, and that hence there is a criteria at a slightly maturer TRL levels. For that reason, if like Darlene just mentioned, if we are just below TRL 6, and but you already have planned or on track to reach that, I think we will still encourage you to apply. As with regards to the question on if there are no applicants are at or above TRL 6, I think we actually have to discuss with Foresight and trade commissioners, because this is actually part of the criteria. If we do change our criteria, it would be, we actually have to make it a bit known. But having said that, we still encourage you to apply. It is a chance for us to get to know you. And as Darlene said, both Darlene and myself are from research and technology group of Sasol. At heart, we are researchers. We still very much like to hear about your proposals, and if there are ways that if you have set out a plan for commercialization or have various plans for piloting or demonstration, that would be also of interest to us. Thanks, Heather.
Thanks, Jenny. Question from Shannon: can two ventures collaborate on an application?
Yeah, sure. Shannon, that's a great question. We welcome collaboration. Hence, we actually were very excited when Foresight and Trade Commissioners of Services of Canada actually approached us on this challenge call. So definitely.
Perfect. Paul is wondering about a Canadian company working with a US company that has a DAC solution. And maybe I'll take a crack at this one. So Paul, we are looking for companies that are either Canadian or have primary operations in Canada. So maybe send us an email at challenges@foresightcac.com to provide us with a little bit more information about kind of the nature between the company you're working with and yourself, to make sure that you are considered eligible. Okay, we have a question from Russell. Wondering about expected funding available per project. Is there kind of an amount that might be available if the project was selected to be explored with Sasol?
I was wondering if the trade commissioners would like to come in here. Sorry, I cannot see hands or.
Yeah.
Well, the funding that would apply here is called Can Export Innovation. I can send you an email, Russell, or we can discuss aside. It's a small pocket, though. It's maximum 75,000, and of that, I think you'll have to cover 75%. Sorry, we cover 75. You have to cover the 25%. But we can talk offline about this. There could be other mechanism through also the National Research Council of Canada, through IRAP, if you have an industrial technology advisor. That could be another department, not necessarily Global Affairs Canada, but another department that could fund an innovative project between Canada and South Africa.
Caroline? We have someone wondering, just kind of looking at the state of play in where this technology at, wondering how many applications we're expecting. There don't seem to be lots of DAC companies above TRL 4 at this point. And maybe I can take a crack at that as well, and others can jump in. We are hopeful that we'll get some technologies. We're casting a wide net to see what is available in Canada. And as Jenny mentioned, if we aren't getting applications at that TRL 6 level, we'll have a conversation internally and see how we want to navigate that. But again, as Jenny mentioned, we do encourage you to submit an application and give us the opportunity to get to know you and your technology. Any other thoughts from any of the other panelists on that?
Yeah, definitely support that, Heather. And this is the reason why we're doing a challenge call and rather calling on each of the company. And thank you, Anonymous. Having said that, we also don't want to limit ourselves in knowing the the big three, big fours are currently on the DAC. This is the reason why we are looking at partnering with Foresight as well as trade commissioners on this call. Thanks.
Question from Russell. What is the power available at the Sasol facility to run the IDAC system?
Russell, do you mean the type of electricity or power sources available? For now, Sasol actually self-generates from the fine coal, as well as importing from the grid itself. We also run a few of the gas turbines. But having said that, we actually if you follow us, you know of us, we actually just announced last Thursday on a big, I think the first PPA or green renewable contract. So in the due course, we do believe we have green electrons available so that we can make this a green source.
Great, thank you. So Paul identifies that there's a Canadian company that has a very cost-effective DAC technology, but it works best in cold climates, such as in Northern Canada. Does Sasol have any interest in these types of technologies that work in this type of climate?
Well, as Dalian mentioned, we do look into integration opportunities for existing as well as new projects. This is definitely something that we could look at, and if we could also illuminate us on why particularly on the cold climates are the ways that we could modify that, we certainly will be interested. Thanks.
Okay, we have a question from JA. And maybe this is one that I'll answer as well, is as the challenge progresses, what role can industry partners play to explore synergies with the cohort, with Foresight and with Sasol? It's a great question, and thanks for thinking about ways to kind of facilitate those opportunities. I would say definitely let's keep in touch with Foresight to look for those kind of opportunities. The more you can spread the word about the challenge and about our carbonNEXT program that's supporting ventures in the CCUS space, that would be fantastic. I don't know if the Trade Commissioner or Sasol has any ideas about opportunities you'd like to see.
Maybe I can start. So one of the things that Dalia mentioned in her presentation is that we have existing sites. And if we didn't stress this further, I would like to emphasize here, we already use carbon monoxide as part of our feedstock. So we have test facilities, we have research equipment that we could offer to provide a demonstration opportunities if that's is of interest. So we are firm believers that industry partners can definitely play an important part in driving technology commercialization. I mean, we have commercialized quite a number of technologies ourselves, as well as with known partners, to be honest. So yeah, definitely this is something that we would like to promote, and we also like to see how technology can shape our future better together.
So we have a question coming in about cost estimates and cost expectations. So I know as part of the application, we're looking to see kind of that future timeline around getting the costs to around $100 per ton. Currently, it's around $300 per ton. Can you speak a little bit to kind of the expectations around that?
Sure. So as stated in the presentation, we would like to drive that towards $100. We know that currently it is very expensive, and hence we were putting out the challenge call to see how we could look at ways of making this more techno-economic feasible and probably more effective. So 100% with you that we know that currently DAC is very expensive, and hence there must be ways that we could look at making it cheaper and more available.
Thank you. Do you have a means of non-disclosure agreements in the process of the application? Maybe I can answer that.
Yeah.
So the applications are considered confidential, to be kept only among the review staff. If the conversations proceed to the introductions with the Sasol team, and Jenny, maybe you can confirm this, but at that point, there would be a non-disclosure agreement signed.
Correct. So, but at that point, then the non-disclosure will be signed directly with Sasol.
Perfect. Okay. We have someone that says, Ionada would like to do a post-combustion and IDAC combination. Is there some program for post-combustion carbon capture on your facility?
Well, I think the term is probably not necessarily post-combustion. We actually have a pre-combustion facility. We have Sasol on site already, but we can definitely explore that if that's available. Yeah.
Great.
Jenny, we also have the Benfield system, which is
yes, that's right. Sasol. Yep. So sorry, I termed that together as a pre-combustion because we actually do not combust our syngas. We actually purge our CO2. So yeah. Thanks, Darlene, for picking that.
Okay, and if you have more questions about that, feel free again to shoot us an email, and we can, if you want to ask for more specific detail, we can get that answered for you. So we have a question about the biomass power plants or co-firing power plants in Sasol's ecosystem. Quinoan is asking, as they have a cost-effective DAC solution working in synergy with biomass energy.
Oh, that's an interesting configuration. So currently we do not have a biomass power plant or a co-firing power plant, so to speak. But having said that, we are exploring biomass as an alternative feedstock. So if this is something that that you already demonstrated or are in the processing to demonstrate, please feel free to reach out to submit your proposal.
Great. Jenny, can you talk about the expected scale of the DAC system? How many tons of CO2 per day or per year are you looking for?
I'm so worried that if I speak scale, that may offend people or scare people. But having said that, our 2017 emission scale is in the 50 to 57 million tons from the Secunda site alone. So that's a lot of CO2 that we would like to do away with, either through direct air capture or somewhat we can recycle that back to our system. So this is in the million tons of CO2 a year that we are looking for. But having said that, we do know that this is quite a nascent technologies compared to some of the others. And we definitely will be looking into some initial steps in making this technology more affordable.
So we have someone who is seeking to do a partnership with a company that grows algae and seawater on top of a coastal desert. They estimate they can capture and store CO2 for around $50 per ton. Would you be interested in that type of technology?
I think it will be not quite fitting into this configuration because our DAC, as the presentations mentioned, is really around how we then extract that carbon for feedstock. Do you perhaps have further information on how you intend to use the algae, or how do you make that available, make that carbon available? So yeah, if you have some information that you can share or you would like to reach out to us, I'm sure Heather will have all our contact details available.
Absolutely. Yeah, so feel free to send us a little bit more information and we can dig into that question a little bit more. Okay, so that is all of the questions that we have at the moment. Maybe we'll give one more minute or so. Oh, we have one just came in. What is the expected purity of the CO2?
Maybe Dalian can tackle that.
Can I ask that we answer that offline? Then I can give a more accurate answer. Just as a little bit of background, we may have slightly different specifications to other industries because of the process we want to integrate it into. So something like moisture, for instance, will have a very different viewpoint on it compared to if you want to use it just for storage, for instance.
Okay, great. So yeah, Delene, if you are able to send me a little bit more information about that, Russell, I'll follow up with you via email. Great. Okay, while we're waiting for those any last burning questions to come in, I will share my screen again. And folks can see we have a QR code for the challenge website. So do feel free to go to the website and look for all those specific details. Maybe if I can get Nisha to put the challenge email address into the chat so everyone has it. Like we said, please do feel free to send us any questions if you're looking for more specific details. If you have any specific details about your project that you'd like to share to make sure that it is aligned. Oh, we have someone asking if they can post the website in the chat as well. Nisha, if I can get you to do that, that would be fantastic. And we'll just make sure that that has happened. I see the website, and if I can get someone to put the challenge email in there as well, that would be fantastic. We'll give one last, okay, and we do have one more request for the information regarding the CO2 purity, so no problem. We will make sure that that information is shared with you. And last call for any questions. Okay. With that, I would like to thank our panelists. I would like to thank all of you for tuning in. We're very much looking forward to seeing your applications. If anything comes up while you are putting them through, do feel free to reach out. And other than that, we will look forward to seeing the technologies that are submitted. So thank you all so much.